So, you awake one day, find yourself stranded upon this desert island. No clear memories of what you were doing, save for that you were going somewhere with some things and treasure. This may be because you found yourself playing Wayward. A lot of people, as is normal for pretty much any roguelike in creation, will typically play this game for a bit, die, and then wonder, why have I died? Well, there's a lot of reasons. This one's fairly nice. It's a graphical roguelike, so it's not just straight up text. You can actually see what you're looking at without having to use a C command. Though there is still a C command that is useful, don't disregard it. You can see here, you will get hints for things as you're going along. You can scroll through them. You can disable them if you like. But, generally speaking, I know people bitch about not liking how tutorials are done in modern games anymore. It takes too long, they assume you're idiots. Well, some games need a little bit of explaining. This is unfortunately going to be one of them. You're just going to have to eat that and deal with it. Now, as far as survival, you will always start with a shovel, which will give you the advantage of allowing you to gather items without injuring yourself, and also giving you something with higher attack power. It's only +2, but it is better than you had. So, this isn't the type of game where you can just strike off and slay things, usually. That can't be normal, how slow that's going. You see, even after equipping my weapon, I am getting destroyed by nothing more than a simple garden snake here. Happens sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. As you fight, your skills in tactics, parrying, and if applicable, I think throwing and maybe bow use will go up. And we've claimed victory over the snake. Now we must claim the spoils. In order to claim spoils from a slain enemy, or monster, or innocent chicken or rabbit, you must use a carving item. Sometimes it takes a couple of carves to get through the blood. No, seriously, you have to carve multiple times because of all the blood. Now if you'll notice down here, this red bar represents your health. The rest of these you can kind of let go a bit, but if that hits 0, you die and it's game over. That's all there is to it. So, above all else, you have to keep that at some number above 0. Though, if you played games before, this probably isn't anything terribly new to you. Now, this particular game is, the combat in it is not terribly easy. It's not weighted in your favor at all. Again, you'll see I got destroyed by a snake. I still took notable damage from just a rabbit. But I got things. As far as item drops you'll get from creatures, you'll get meat, of course. That's a good bit of the point to hunting them initially. You need fire to cook meat, and to get fire, you need to bust down trees for items. So, let's have it this for... Okay, we have parts for a hand drill now. That's pretty much your most basic fire-making implement in this game. Hand drill requires 2 pole-like items and a kindling. Your most available pole-like items are going to either be wooden poles or bone poles. You can get wooden poles by using a sharpened object like a sharp stone or sharp glass, or I think the axe, with branches, which you get from trees. You get kindling. Where do you get kindling from? Twigs and tree bark. That might take a bit. I think there might be a couple of other ways of getting it. I just have to look it up to be sure. I should really do some more research on this beforehand. But most certainly twigs and tree bark. No, it would say different if you could use different. Okay, twigs and tree bark. I don't know why I always have hell getting tree bark. I don't know why. But, anyway, 2 poles and a kindling get you a hand drill. You can use a hand drill to make fire. Has to be on a panel that is flammable, I believe. If I use it on the dirt, it won't even let me use it. Same with the sand. However, this individual pile of grass here should be perfectly game. Now, your first fire might actually result in you burning through a hand drill before you can get it started, because you're just not good at it. Same thing with literally everything else in this list here. It's just not going to go well because you're not good at it. But once you get fire going, you have light. Hopefully, you are not late enough into the first day to where you need this light. But more importantly, you can cook now. Because, just like real life, eating raw meat's kinda gross and bad for you. But, it's also pretty much the best way to recover all of these. Little trick, if you're looking to heal, then I think you do better going for, I think, less filling items, like thistle seeds, stuff like that. If you're looking to recover stamina and hunger, then anything caloric, meat, large fruits, stuff like that, look for those. And as far as healing, truthfully, you will do so much better if you can get proper healing items. Bandages, glue, sutures, stuff like that. Ah, we found something neat. This is a unit of amber. It is an item. You'll find it lying around randomly in forests, maybe elsewhere. Has a weight of 0.5. And ooh, another one. It's gonna be a good day. It has the distinction of both having no actual purpose in the game, and at the same time, for certain reasons, pretty much being my favorite item in the game. So you see, it can also appeal to that weird, oh, I like just random shit aspect in your life. Anyway, we've got some food, we've got a hand drill. Our shovel is not in the best condition at this point, though. And we will need shelter in the coming time. I don't have the items to do that. Oh. Anyway. Let's fight the spider and see how well this works for us. I've got to see if I can tweak that some. I should probably just ask the developer. He seems to be cool about this. See if that's how it's supposed to run. Now, spiders in real life are terrifying hell beasts. Even the little ones, especially the little ones. But in Wayward, they are edible. When prepared, they don't decay any. And they also, I think, are either guaranteed or almost always guaranteed to drop silk upon death. Now you see, this right here is very helpful, very useful. We found most of the remains of a house. And And this one's actually in good enough condition that we can just bust down the parts of it over here and reassemble them into a coherent structure. And you say, why do I care about stuff like this? It's a game. I don't have basal needs like shelter and food beyond not letting my numbers go down enough to where I lose. Well, it kind of does play into the not letting your numbers go down enough to lose aspect. You see, there are things here that will eat you. You saw how we jumped that snake earlier and got wrecked? Snakes aren't that bad. There are much bigger things here than snakes. I think the current #1 cause for death in this game is bear. Just like home. But anyway, yeah. You need somewhere that, if nothing else, you can bash some skulls in and then retreat to while you mend your own bashed skull in an attempt to continue bashing skulls. Yeah? So, I'm actually not going to put that there. I will stash... Actually, you know what? Yeah, this can go here. Now, one major thing that's changed in the 1.2 beta, you can get doors now. All you require is wood. Though I don't know if with our current attack power we can actually get logs. And even if we could, we kind of need other stuff a little bit more now. What was that bone pulled up? Well enough. Okay. You can dual wield in this game. I believe the way that it's weighted now, whichever weapon is in your right hand takes point on being damaged. So you would want to put something that you don't mind getting damaged there, and then say a shittier thing like, or not necessarily even shittier, but just a more easily damaged item in your offhand. Like say a torch, or a spear maybe. I'd say dual-wielding spears just sounds silly, but I've seen so much sillier in games before. I really, really have. And apparently you will sometimes just simply fail to craft. It happens sometimes. Oh yes, another trick for early game. When you first get the trees broken down, you can tag out a wooden pole for your shovel. Doesn't matter what you use. All that matters is what your attack rating is. Ooh, another trick. You'll notice my sharp rock is not in the best condition. While I still have a shovel. So, anyway, we've got enough sand for everything, and I've made 2 sharp glasses. You make those by just getting a pile of sand, don't do anything with it, take it to a fire, just like you did when we were cooking earlier, and using it in the crafting menu here. You can see it requires 1 pile of sand and fire source as an environmentally. Some things will require you be near other things, similar to, say, Terraria. It had an area of effect for all the different workbenches and things you could build. Sort of like that. Just simply build a fire, make a campfire, something that's fire, I believe. Doesn't really matter what, and you can make sharp glass. And now I can use my sharp rock to make a new shovel instead of wasting it on carving up stuff. Poor shovel. Like it says, it's a poor shovel, it's shitty, but it is much better than nothing. You need it to harvest pretty much anything on the ground. Sand, dirt, gravel, peat when you find that. But that requires 1 sharp rock. You cannot improvise glass for it. Glass shatters a lot easier. A single sharp rock, 2 pole-like items. Note that branches count as pole-like items before they have been carved into limbs. But at the same time, all you are, before they've been carved into wooden poles, but at the same time, all that you lose on that is a little bit of durability on the rock, or whatever you're carving with, and a string. There's a string, not a rope-like item. You have to actually have string for this. But, I still haven't adjusted to the failure mechanic in crafting yet. Okay. Now you can make, if you're in need of string, you can make string from various rope-like items. It doesn't care about it for that part. Say, I've got spider silk here, I grabbed some plant roots off of a thing over here, I can use that to make another string. But since I've already got one, I can't recall anything that just immediately needs it, I'm going to hold off and see if I find anything that needs rope-like items over string. Okay, so we've got a few things put together. Let's see if we can get ourselves... We need stone. But I haven't found a source for it yet anywhere. There's a sandstone house further down here. Oh yes, if you find a proper beach like this, and you see there are palm trees here, you get different things from those than you do from the trees in other areas. You can actually get better items from, or not better, but I think, like you can get pineapples and shit from them, which are wonderful. They heal you a good bit for everything. Come on, rocks, where are you? Ooh, I found most of a set of armor. Well, anyway, apparently initially just blindly wandering around is a little bit more useful than I would have ever thought. As I was saying earlier, the gameplay is not weighted terribly in your favor. Armor is one of the most useful components you can find or make in this game. That's why bark is initially the lifeblood of your character. And also, I'm not sure what the instructional scroll does. If I had to guess, I'd think... Apparently it teaches you how to make an item. Which is neat. So anyway, as you can see, it's getting dark. It's getting dangerous. Still not in an ideal setup yet, but really we need to get somewhere and be preparing to not move for a long time. Because I have not slept at all during this entire ordeal. My camping skill is not good yet. So, this is going to be actually a good excuse to raise it. Well, at least I'll have plenty to keep me occupied with while I'm cowering in fear. Okay, you can see two things here. First, I've taken off the full screen option. That's given me a good bit more performance, at least it feels like it has. And two, there is now a wolf chasing me. That's bad, because wolves are quite hostile and quite dangerous. Usually, if you get lucky, you can hang the enemies, not hang them, but, you know, they will get stuck around corners and not be able to get through very well. And I'm hoping that might buy me just enough time to do this. completely strip this godforsaken tree before it'll actually give me anything log-like. Okay. We're back at our initial home type thing, and we've gotten some logs. If you are in need of logs, you have to hit at trees until you've stripped the canopy completely off. It will actually change the graphic. It'll look like this one to my right does. And then just keep hitting at them. For now, all we really need is a door. And that will get us enough stuff to properly barricade ourselves inside. The advantage to the door is that I can just walk through it, and I don't have to tear it down. In the meantime, however, a box in which to place my things would be delightful. For the door, you need 3 logs and a sharp item. For the box, you just, same thing. That's pretty much all you need for logging, is sharpened items and logs. Maybe. Actually, I better put the food one inside in case I get locked in. Jesus. Just gonna put that there. Okay. Right-click build. Okay. Now, chests are no longer a place of infinite storage. There's only so much you can put there. But, you can still put stuff in them. It is much easier to go through this than it is to go through the actual, what do you call it? Just dropping them on the floor and hoping they stay there good. Also, food that is placed into a container will stay better longer. Okay, so it's dark. We're probably not going to be going too much further tonight unless I find stone anywhere. But I have a trick for the stone. In the meantime, a few things to leave you with. Again, food decays. You see it has a couple different stats, the weight and the decay. Weight is just simply how much it weighs, same as everything else. Decay is how long before it becomes completely and utterly inedible. And that's really saying something considering some of the garbage I have in here. Anyway, most common thing you'll get from animals is they tend to drop bones, offal, some of the bigger ones will drop fat, and leather hides. Now, the fat is edible, but it is so much more useful for torches, so it shall stay. The offal is edible in the strictest sense in that it does not immediately kill you. You see, I lose 2 health, I actually lose stamina. I always take it when you do something like that it's actually you gagging so badly that you're tired from it. But I do gain 3 hunger. And it's gonna hurt, but let's finish that other one off. That way we can save our good food for later. Okay. As long as there's nothing out here, I can return and gather my other belongings. But, yes. Food keeps better in a container. It's still not quite as... You know, the older builds, it was as though you had a fucking refrigerator or something. But it's still quite good. It's definitely better than just leaving it be. Okay, and I've got all my branches. I don't even need to put these in a container. They can just sit here for the moment. Same with you. Why the hell not? Let's plant some pretty flowers, because I want my house to look pretty while I am dying. No, there actually is a purpose. I don't know if the flowers do anything, but they do look pretty. The mushrooms you can eat. Anything else? The red berries you can eat, but I don't think you can plant. It's odd. Anyway. Apparently I can't start a fire over just straight ash. Oh yes, if you don't build a fire in a proper campfire, it will spread. I put one here, and then it spread here, and now both of these are burned. Fire also will kill you if you're not careful. Anyway, we got some stuff cooked. I'm not sure if cooking this resets the counter on it. Let's try now. Okay, we got two. This one's 2666, and this is 2544. Let's cook both of them. And yes, it actually does reset the timer on them. So unless you know you're absolutely going to need them right then and there, it might be worthwhile to keep a few of them set back. Much like real life. You don't go shopping once a month and then cook all of it. You put some of it back. Ah yes, boxes, containers, anything you can put stuff in like this, their capacity is determined by weight. I forget what the wooden containers like this are, but it's enough to be useful, but also small enough to be kind of annoying sometimes. Well, anyway, this still isn't ideal. Let's see, if I have enough times, I have more of those. I have another log. Oh, another neat thing for the logs, apparently you can sometimes just find them out in the water. Careful though, they are quite weighty. Sharks would probably be the most horrifying thing in the world if they could actually get to you. As I was saying, the house is still not ideal. Ideally, it'd be big enough to where you could just simply get stuff stuck around there and it wouldn't be able to keep coming after you. But another thing I can do to make it better is to put in a second door, a back door, if you will. And now, if I come out here and, oh Christ, bears, then I can run like hell back here, charge through, and just keep on adventuring. Later on, I could probably upgrade it to where they can, as I said, they'll get hung on it, and they won't be able to move around as much. I could probably even set things up to where I could farm some of the monsters. Mostly just the peat boglings, I think. This game would be so fun if they'd implement switches, but maybe for another day. Anyway, this should be enough to get you set up in a house, not dying, at least for a short period. As you can see, I've got food, I've got equipment, I could use more honestly, but isn't that true of any game ever? Alright, next time, we'll see if I make it through the night, and if so, we will try and make it through another day. Maybe get some better armor.